Will Shell withstand the test of time? In 1907, the Royal Dutch Petroleum and the Shell Transport and Trading Company merged together to create what is now one of the largest international energy companies, Shell. Since gasoline has become more of an everyday use for people across the world, Shell has been developing a more important role in the global energy sector. According to reports made by Shell, the company's ultimate goal is to provide sustainable energy solutions to address the constantly increasing demand for oil and gas while also prioritizing environmental amenability. Shell has comfortably sat at the top of the charts in the energy realm for years now, but they are now facing what could potentially send them into a downward spiral if they do not adapt to this issue at hand. As our vehicles have evolved, so has our technology. Most of the vehicles used across the world today are powered by gasoline, which is a derivative that originates from the burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels emit absurd amounts of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, out into the atmosphere. This is one of the largest contributors to the world's environmental issues today. However, with newly developed technology, the transition from gasoline to a sustainable energy source to power our vehicles is slowly becoming more of a reality. EVs, which stands for electrical vehicles, has been sweeping the automotive market now for the past decade, and companies such as Tesla have only grown in that time frame. The benefits that would come from the conversion to the world running purely off fully electric cars include reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, lower maintenance and charging costs, and reduce tailpipe emissions. What are tailpipe emissions? The tailpipe, which is the pipe seen at the bottom back of cars, is responsible for emitting approximately 10% of greenhouse emissions globally, according to a study done by Troy R. Hawkins. EVs, however, do not need a tailpipe, for they do not use traditional gasoline-powered engines. And not only are EVs supposedly saving the environment from gasoline-powered cars, but the prices may also be another reason gasoline-powered cars are taken out of business. According to a study done by the MIT Transit Lab, data shows that the average cost for a gasoline-powered car is much lower than the average cost for an EV. However, the cost longevity-wise to maintain gasoline cars is far more expensive, ultimately making EVs a better investment long term. And lastly, stakeholders are impacted by this issue, whether or not Shell can adapt their ways. Customers are beginning to seek eco-friendly alternatives to traditional fuel. Shareholders are concerned about whether or not Shell can sustain through these changes, and employees are at risk of unemployment if sales drop tremendously. While these issues are large, Shell does have one solution they could take up that could potentially save them and keep them at the top of the automotive energy industry. Conducting a strategic and phased transition towards electrical power is the best move. This would include investing in EV charging infrastructure, strategic partnering with government and technology companies to conduct research and development purposes, and a list of comprehensive consumer education initiatives. This switch seems to align perfectly with Shell's ultimate commitment to prioritizing environmental health and can also allow them to capitalize on the new wave of technology. If Shell wishes to solve this issue of electrical vehicles taking over, the solution would be not to try and compete, but to rather embrace this change and develop as a company. Thank you. And these are my references. Thank you.